Book of Haggai, Seeing Jesus in the Bible. The author of the book of Haggai is Haggai. The events in this book took place in Jerusalem in 520 BC. Haggai means festive. He was a prophet who caused the Jews to really celebrate their return to the Promised Land. The books of Ezra and Nehemiah are the background of the prophecies of Haggai. 16 years after returning from captivity, the Jews were slow to rebuild the temple because their personal affairs interfered with God's work. The Lord appointed Haggai to preach a series of sermons designed to stir up the nation to resume work on the temple. When the people began to rebuild the temple, there were lots of harassments and conflicts against them. The Arabs and the various tribes who had settled in Judah began to tell them they could never do it. This was frightening the people who had spent 70 years in slavery and had just returned to the Promised Land. The older men who returned with them wept when they saw that the foundation of this temple was not as glorious as the Solomon's temple. On top of that, the Arabs and other tribes who were dwelling on the land wrote to the new king of Persia and told him that he must stop the people from building their temple because the Jews were rebellious and would rebel again. So the new king issued a decree that the building had to stop. It was a time of discouragement. The people turned from building God's house and began to build their own houses. For 14 years, nothing was done on the temple, but God raised up Haggai and Zechariah at this point to encourage the people to complete the building of the temple. Haggai rebuked the people for living in their own homes and being at ease while the house of God was lying in waste. He also gave a message to the leaders of the new nation of Israel, urging them to be strong because God was with them to help them in all their problems. The Lord caused the new king, King Darius, to find the decree that King Cyrus made. He not only gave them permission to finish the temple, but he also sent provisions to help them. At the prophesying of Haggai and Zechariah, the people were so built up and cheered up and stirred up that they finished the temple within 4 years. God has always confirmed things in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Haggai and Zechariah were the 2 witnesses who prophesied and confirmed the messages of what the people were called to do. These 2 men, in their day, brought great faith and encouragement to the hearts of all Israel, as well as encouraging us today. Seeing Jesus in the book. In Haggai 2:6, Haggai mentioned that God will shake heaven and earth, and they shall come to the desire of all nations, and God will fill this temple with glory. Jesus is beautifully described as the desire of all nations in the book of Haggai. How does the book of Haggai apply to us today? Today, believers are the temple of the living God, according to 2 Corinthians 6:16. How do we build the temple of God today? Jude 1:20 says, "You, beloved, build yourselves up on your most holy faith, praying in the Spirit." 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Encourage each other and build each other up." We build ourselves by praying in the Spirit and encouraging one another. Are you facing challenges in your life today? Hear what the Lord of Heaven's armies say today. "Be strong, for I am with you. My spirit remains among you, so do not be afraid. If God is for you, who can be against you?"